Yes, good evening, Shivasai. You are able to hear me?
अच्छा.
Okay. So let me start the session. You remember yesterday it was our first day session. So I just went through the uh, like what is Linux. So you want me to repeat that or you'll go through the recording of that? Yes. Oh, that also will be available on. Okay. So you want me to repeat it. So what is Linux? So this course is about Linux administration, which will be about like 30 to 35 days. And collect. So in which we are going to discuss about the combination of RSCSS syllabus plus some important topics which will be required in the real-time environment. So it is a good combination of all the topics of RSCSA plus RSCEC, some topics, not all, plus some additional topics which is required for our real-time experience to work in the real time. Okay. So I'll go through the topics also. Before that, we'll start with what is Linux, because this course is about Linux administration. So what is Linux according to you? Yes, what is Linux according to you? Yes, it's an OS. Yes, it's an OS. Which type of OS? The feature which separate the Linux from other. Yes, it is an OS. Which type of OS? It's called as Linux is an open source operating system. Yes, it's an open source operating system. What is open source? We'll see later. Let's start with the importance of OS. Why we should have the some or the other OS. So for that, suppose I'm having one machine here, whether it is a laptop or desktop. So let us assume this machine is there. So as you know, a computer is a collection of hardware and the software. So in this, there is no OS. Now I'm sitting here and try to use this computer. Can I use this computer without OS? Can we use this without OS? No, we cannot. So everybody knows that without OS, we cannot operate the computer. But why? There has to be some reason for that, yes? So what might be the reason according to you? Why it will not work? Yes. You want to write, you can write or unmute your mic and tell me. Hello. According to you, why it will not work? हाँ बोल बटे. Not only Linux, any OS. Same. हाँ बोल. Okay. So let me explain you in simple way. So suppose you are from which state? Yes. You are from which place? Telangana. So you might be knowing suppose Telugu. Yes. So suppose example, you know only Telugu language, and suppose I know only Hindi language. So if you know only Telugu language, I know only Hindi language. We need to communicate with each other. How we can do it? If you are facing this issue, how? Okay. So how do you tackle this issue now? You know only Telugu language. I know only Hindi language, suppose. And we need to communicate with each other. How do you communicate? So for that, what might be the simple solution? Yes. Okay. I'm just checking. 1 second. You can see from my, it's full. Can you check from your end, your audio? Because from my end, it's from full. So I was asking you, suppose as you from Telangana, you know Telugu language. So suppose I know only Hindi language, you know only Telugu language, and we need to communicate with each other. So how do you overcome this issue? Just tell me how you can overcome. Have you able to listen to me? My question? Yes, I. Common language. I don't know other than Hindi. You don't know other than Telugu. Example. How do you overcome? No, you are not understanding my question. I'm saying we don't know any other language. I know only Hindi. You know only Telugu. Then how we can communicate? Yes, if you are facing this issue, what will do? Okay, so we can use one simple option. Yes, we can use one simple option. Search for one person who knows your language and my language. Yes, can that will be best solution? Okay, now same thing here. Now same thing here. You know, computer hardware understand which language? Computer hardware understand which language? Binary language. Computer hardware understand which language? Binary. Binary means which is in the form of zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. Whereas the software understand which language? High level language, which is in the form of numbers, alphabet, and special character. So hardware don't understand software language, software don't understand hardware language. So that's why they cannot interact with each other. So we cannot able to operate the computer. So to overcome this problem, what is the solution we can have? What is the solution we can have is we have to install some or the other OS. We have to install what? Some or the other OS. So suppose any OS it is. So suppose any OS is a collection of program. Any operating system is a collection of programs. Any operating system is a collection of program. This collection of program act like a interface. So this collection of program act like a act like a interface. Act like a interface between the hardware and the software. Between hardware and the software. So using this interface, we means human beings can operate the computer, operate the system or computer. That's why we need some of the other OS. So I hope you understood. Is that clear? So that's why we need to have some or the other OS. So the most commonly used operating system in the world is first one is Windows. So most of the computers in the world are working on Windows. Next one is Linux, and the third one is Mac. So these are three most commonly used operating system in the world. So as for the Windows, it is most popular. Why? Because it is easy to operate and graphical interface. So mostly the clients are using this for client and home purpose. Whereas Linux is more secure. That's why it is most of the servers are on Linux. And these also have a very good security, but it is a platform dependent. It will support only on Mac devices, Apple devices, Mac. So mostly we use this, and third one is this. So so most of the servers in the world are working on Linux. That's why we are discussing what? Linux. So Linux is your foundation course, not only for working like a Linux administrator. So once you do this course, you will be eligible to work like a Linux administrator. And the content and our topic will be such that if you have a gap even up to 2 to 3 years, you can easily cover it. And that is not only that, so this Linux will be suitable for, for you to go to the next level, to move to the next level, like on the cloud. So if you want to work on the AWS cloud, you should have the knowledge about Linux. And if you want to go to the AWS DevOps, for that also you require the, for that you have to require what? The knowledge of the Linux. If you want to work on the SAP admin, then also you require the Linux. So that's why this course is very fundamental and important. Okay. So now our focus will be on Linux because it is more secure compared to Windows and more stable, more secure. That is the reason most of the servers in the companies are working on, most of the company servers are working on Linux. Okay. So now let us assume in our machine, we have installed suppose Linux. So this is our machine. In this machine, we have installed suppose Linux OS. So this Linux OS is also a collection of programs. This OS is also a collection of programs. So this collection of programs in the Linux OS is divided. This collection of programs in the Linux OS is divided into two levels. First one is called level 1, first program. Second program is called level 2. So here level 1 is nothing but your shell, and level 2 is your main part of the Linux OS, which is called Linux kernel. So let us discuss what is the use of the shell and what is the use of the kernel. So here, once you make the payment, I'll be sharing you this three files. So two text files, which is related with the theory, and one practical step file, notepad file. In that, all the practical step from all the practicals will be there. So this course is basically divided into two parts, that is called standalone and network admin. So for standalone, one theory file I have kept, one for network admin, one theory file. And the practical for standalone and network admin, I kept it in one file, notepad file. So these three I'll be sharing you, okay, so that you don't have to write anything. So let's first talk about what is the use of the shell. So like here, most of the people in the world are using Windows because it is easy to operate and have the graphical interface, but it is not as secure as Windows. But Windows is not as secure as Linux. So in Windows, we have two types of OS, client and server OS. So server OS is designed for servers, client OS for client purpose, but it has less security and less features compared to Linux. So that is why you will see, you can see most of the company servers is on Linux because of its good security and features. So the main feature in Linux is it's an open source operating system. What is open source? We'll see maybe tomorrow. So first, we have to know who designed this Linux OS. It is designed by Linus Torvalds. So Linux OS is designed by Linus Torvalds using the Unix, like Windows OS designed by Bill Gates using the DOS. Same way Linux OS is designed by Linus Torvalds of Finland country by using Unix. What is Unix? Unix is the first major operating system which was completely based on command mode, no graphical interface. For Linux, graphical interface is there. But the main advantage of Unix was very good security. But drawback in the Unix was it is a hardware dependent OS, means this OS, Unix OS is designed by AT&T company, American Telephone and Telegraph. So they made these OS as hardware dependent, means like here example, Sun is the company. So Sun company developed which one? Solaris. So Solaris OS can be installed. So Solaris is one of the flavor of Unix, which is designed by Sun company. So Solaris OS can be installed only on Sun machine. So if you want to install Solaris, you should have to purchase Sun machine. Same way, the IBM company designed AIX, which can be installed only on the IBM machine. Same way, HP company designed HPUX. So these are the different flavors of Unix. So this HPUX OS can be installed on HP machine only. AIX can be installed only on the IBM machine. Solaris can be installed only on Sun machine. So it is a advantage or disadvantage? Big disadvantage. If you want to change the OS, you have to change the hardware, which is a very expensive affair. So that is the reason now nobody is using Unix. In place of Unix, now we are using what? Linux. Because Linux is designed using Unix by Linus Torvalds. Like Bill Gates designed Windows using DOS. So here Linux OS is divided into two levels. First one is what? Shell. The other one is kernel. So what is the use of the shell? First we'll see. So first thing, if you want to write any command, like in Windows OS, we have to open the command prompt. So just to give me a minute, I'm getting your call. 1 minute, please wait.